Peace, family, love and light to you all. Greetings. Welcome to another YouTube video with me, your host, Mathix. Now, today I want to talk to you. We're going to be talking about semen retention. I'm going to explain what semen retention is. What is semen retention? What are the benefits of semen retention? Just semen in semen in general. So to start off, the word itself is very interesting. Sea, associate the sea obviously with the ocean. It's the sea, for we all come from the ocean, we all come from water. You know, the water in our mother's womb. All life comes from liquids, different types of liquids. Semen, breast milk, I forgot the name. Is it amniotic fluid in your mother's womb? It's said that life evolves from the oceans. So seamen, we are the creatures of the sea, the creatures of the ocean, the creatures of the water. Now, when you talk about semen retention, what you are talking about is alchemy. What you are talking about is alchemy. There's different things that happen within the body of males and females, just as women go through a menstrual cycle every month. There's certain things also that take place in the female's body that increase, or expands their vitality, or that expands their awareness, their mental agility, their physical agility. Now, semen retention, what is it first of all? Semen retention is the act of not losing the seed during sexual activity. So when you are having sex, you do not reach the point of climax where you spill the seed. Rather, you keep the seed, you retain it in your body, and then now that seed or that sperm is transmuted, and the same energy that you would have spilled out is used for other reasons within the body, and also to expand your vitality, to expand you in different ways. It's very interesting now when you think about the fact that a single sperm can create a whole other person. It could create a human being, right? It could create a human being. So the fall of man is also played out in the fall of what happens when a man ejaculates. That plays out the whole story of the fall of consciousness, because what semen also contains is cerebrospinal fluid. Sperm is said to be the most potent liquid in the body, because all the other processes, from how blood is created, from how bone marrow is created, all of them, the last thing that is created that is the most potent is semen. It's said that scientifically and also in spirituality, it's said that 40 drops of blood are what is needed to create 1 drop of semen. Now, I did a video about blood where I was talking about the importance of blood. Now we're getting into the semen. Check this out. 40 drops of blood is what is needed to create 1 drop of semen. 1 drop of semen. So if semen can create a baby in the physical when you ejaculate, what do you think it can do if you knew that it has another purpose to it? Now, this is what the ancients were talking about. These were one of the things that were a part of the mysteries. This gets into now sexual alchemy, transmuting the base elements into gold and refining the lower. When you look at nature, it's the praying mantis, there's certain species of insects where after the man ejaculates into whatever species of the praying mantis and different species of spider, the female eats the male. And there's actually a saying that Every time a man comes, he dies a little death because he gives away a part of himself, or a part of himself leaves him. So that's why after men have sex, they have to, they have to go through the whole to gain back that energy, because they just lost a deep part of energy. It takes energy. So sometimes it's not that he doesn't want to cuddle. The body has to get in a state where now it works over time to now bring back that energy. So in modern day society, all men, we just want to reach the climax. We just want to bust the nut, bust the nut, bust the nut, bust the nut. And what we are actually doing is dying a little death each and every single time. The point of sex should not be you aiming to reach a climax. It should rather be, or which that climax would be an ejaculation. You should reach what is known of as an orgasm. An orgasm is different from an ejaculation. An orgasm happens internally, where now you retain the semen, and there's different techniques that you use to retain your semen. Breath meditations, there's certain parts of your body that you can push, pressure points that will retain the semen. But I'm not going to talk about how here. I'm just going to speak about what is semen retention. So now when you retain the semen, instead of it spilling in the physical, either to create a baby, or you just want to bust a nut and lose it in a condom, that energy is absorbed back into the body, because remember, it's very potent. It's the most potent liquid. And what happens is that now it travels in different parts of your body, and then it expands consciousness. So instead of you birthing a physical baby, you birth or you expand Christ consciousness, your crystalline consciousness. It expands your neurons. It expands or it awakens dormant part of your cells, your etheric body. It revitalizes parts of you that have been dormant, and then it gives energy to the body, it gives energy to the heart, it gives energy to the mind. So when you are constantly as a man losing your semen through either masturbation or through just casual sex all the time, and each and every time you reach a climax and you are losing your seed, what you are doing is that you are decreasing your life force, you are decreasing your vital energy, you are decreasing your chi energy, because you are losing the most potent force that you have. It takes a lot of energy to produce or to make sperm, and so when you just lose it like that, what happens is that now you are playing with your vital energy. Remember, when it comes to the chakras correspond. The crown chakra corresponds with the root chakra. The third eye corresponds with the sexual organs. And in fact, it's said that the pineal gland, which is the third eye itself, is a mini penis. Where it gets now, when you begin to think on different levels, it gets engulfed with blood. So in the same way that when you have thoughts that are sexual, blood rushes to what? It rushes to the organs that pertain to the type of thoughts that you are thinking. Watch that video that I did about blood. Blood follows thought. So your thought, where your thoughts are, is where the blood goes. So when you are in an adrenaline mode, your blood flows to the kidneys, and then it flows to the muscles, so you could be ready to fight or to run away. So blood goes to the region of the body where the thoughts are corresponding to. Remember, the organs and the glands respond to certain thought frequencies, and the blood as the liquid crystal is what determines where now or which parts of you get expanded. So when you begin to think on higher levels of consciousness, when you begin to think beyond the mundane, what happens? Blood flows into the upper penis, and then that one is the one that gets erect. So you can get erect either just physically through excitement, or the excitement goes into a different region where now you fuse the two, so the upper penis and the lower penis. So instead of you now just busting a nut every time, the energy travels up the spine into the whole medulla, and then it begins to change the whole chemistry of your brain, and then you reach what is called enlightenment. You reach states of inner peace, of bliss. Your consciousness begins to expand, because that same energy, remember, that same energy can create a whole human being. So when you retain it, it expands different versions of you. So now society, you know, with the whole condoms and whatnot, and I'm not saying don't use condoms, but that word condom is very interesting in a sense that it's something that's a con is a trick. You're a con artist. And then to be dom is to be dormant, or is to be dull, or dumb, or which is known as stupid. So sometimes, or condemn. A condom could be something that condemns you, because then the moment you put it on, you're putting it on with the intention that I'm gonna bust a nut, I'm gonna bust a nut, I'm gonna bust a nut. So you're not having God sex, you're having human sex, or animalistic sex, which is sex just for a pleasurable, just for pleasure. Which is very interesting, because when you look at human beings, right, we are a very interesting species. Just like all other animals, we can hear sound, but we take things to the next extreme. We make music. Just like all other animals, we eat and we taste. We take it to a whole other level. We cook, we have spices, we have all these things. Just like all other animals, we build houses, but we take it to a whole other different level of architecture, right? Just like all other animals, we see colors and all of these things, but we take it to a whole other level. We create art. Just like all other animals, we have movement. We take it to a whole other different level of expression. We dance, we move. So in the same way, just like all other animals, we can be fruitful and multiply physically, but we can take it to a whole other level and expand different versions or different areas of who we are holistically. That's what makes the human the so-called apex of creation. We take things that are in nature and we expand them. We take them to whole other levels. But these are the secrets that have not been known, which also now the word secret comes from secretion. It's the sacred secretion. So your glands secrete certain hormones that do things to you. You have different glands, your hypothalamus, your pituitary, your thyroid, your thymus, your adrenaline gland. All these glands have different functions. And now your sexual organs also have different functions outside of just creating a physical baby. It can expand you consciously. That same pleasure that you feel momentarily when you bust a nut, that energy can be taken inside and then expanded. And what happens also when you begin to practice sexual alchemy or semen retention, it sharpens you as a brother. It sharpens you and it strengthens you. It strengthens your tool, so you are able to last longer. So blessed are you if you have a partner who you can match with on different levels, because then now you can begin to practice these different type of tantric activities or tantric sex. You can begin to have godly sex, where instead of you just being now a 2-minute guy, you are a 2-hour guy or a 3-hour guy. You don't run out, because what happens is that now with semen retention, what it also does is that it strengthens your willpower. It strengthens your willpower, because you don't go in with the intention of just wanting to have sex for the physical pleasure of it. You have sex to satisfy the woman. You have sex to give her pleasure. And then what that does in return is that it strengthens you physically, your sexual organ. The sensitivity of how you react sexually changes. So you are able to last longer when you are swimming in the deep primordial waters. You don't drown now, because now you have developed the suit. So you don't go in there and then immediately just drown. No, you are able to last longer. And now in you being able to last longer, since the woman is more sexually powerful, in the sense that when you see that the woman can have multiple orgasms, whereas a man, it's done. Once you ejaculate, that's it. Whereas a woman can multiple times, because the body is created differently. We are external based, hence the penis is an external thing, whereas they are internal. So we are that which goes out, and they are that which absorbs, or they are that which goes in, right? So it's basically the seed and the soil. The man is the seed, he's the intention, he's the idea, he's the planner, he's the thought, he is the activator, he's the initiator. Whereas the woman is the incubator. She absorbs. She's that which takes and then gives form to the idea. So he builds the house and then she makes it a home. She comes with the idea and then she expands the idea. That's what it is. That's the relationship. He's the electricity. She's the magnetism. He's the brain, the thoughts. She is the heart, the magnetic field. That's what happens. He is electric in nature. He is light. And she's magnetic in nature. She absorbs. You see, so it creates a whole different thing. But now what happens in nowadays when we have sex, it's just that before the power of the magnetic side of the woman can be activated, the man has already busted a nut, and then now she sits there unsatisfied, not knowing that there's levels of herself that take time to be activated. So the longer he lasts, the more that now this ocean, the more that now she gets into her zone. She's like, you know, there are these birds called it's the albatross. It's got the longest wingspan. Even when you look at certain technology or fighter machines, there are ones that can immediately take off, and then there are some birds that have to run a little while before they begin to fly because of the wingspan and the power of their wings. Whereas there's ones that could just, like a hummingbird, that could just immediately take off. So we men are like these small birds that could just easily whereas now she needs time to get in the zone before she can lift off. So now before most women reach the point where they could lift off, the guy has already drowned. He was already drowned. So semen retention is another thing outside of consciousness. It makes the sexual relation between the man and the female, it makes it nicer. It makes it that much more nicer. Because I will say this now, a lot of people have kids, you know, you're a father or you're a mother, and that's cool, that's amazing, that's beautiful, that's what the godly thing is, you know, to expand in consciousness. So a lot of people have had sex, but a lot of people don't know sex. We only know it from the base, which is what all other animals know it as. You haven't taken sex to the point where we have taken food and have become chefs. You haven't taken sex to the point where we hear sounds and have created music. You haven't taken sex to the point where you see colors and have created art. You haven't taken it to that extent yet. So you need to take the sex and take it to the godly level, because that's what you are. So instead of just spilling the seed and losing it, you can expand consciousness. And there's different methods and different techniques. There's books, whole libraries. There's books about sex. The ancients, if you look at the walls of ancient Egypt and Kemet and Africa, they oh my word, they loved sex. Most of when you see the obelisk, that's a phallic symbol. All of these were phallic. It's the what do they call this? It's the yoni, the lingam and the yoni. That's what it is. The phallic symbol and then the feminine symbol. Sex is an art. Sex is an art. It's an art that you have to change your whole mindset in terms of how you approach it. You've been having sex wrong. You've been having sex wrong. Everyone can just have sex and have a baby. So there's many baby daddies and baby mummies. Nothing wrong with being a baby daddy or a baby mummy. We are all children of baby daddies and baby mummies. I mean, your dad is your dad, your mom is your mommy, so your mom is your baby, she's your mom. But just because you have children doesn't mean that you've taken it to the next level. There's another level to that. And so for the brothers, for you to take the relationship to another level, semen retention is one way of doing that. The ability to now change the whole approach. Your body even changes. Your body lasts longer because you've changed your intention. And as I said, it also increases your willpower because you've changed your intention. Instead of just wanting pleasure, now you go in for different intentions when you are having sex. You're not just going in to bust a nut and be selfish and be like, oh, as long as I came. Nah. It's a whole other platform. So there's the lower penis that everyone just uses, and then there's the upper penis. And now when you can begin to merge the two and understand it, oh man, the energies that run up your spine just go up and down like ta 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 ta. It expands. You become physically stronger, physically more capable. You become energized. Your heart expands. Your thoughts expand. You get ideas. You get downloads. You become sharp. But when the more you just have sex, you become dull. You become dull because you keep losing that most potent liquid that you have. Remember, 40 drops of blood to create 1 drop of sperm. Now can you imagine if you alchemize that? Can you imagine what happens to you? Huh? You glow, Joe. What glow, Joe? What glow? And also, another thing that happens is that your aura expands. Pheromones. Remember that we're still animals in a way. You be walking down the street, brother, and these ladies, they can feel, Joe. They can feel, they know. They can sense you. They can sense you. Your vitality increases. Well, now you could like that or not. That's not even a thing of like, oh, now do semen retention to get hands or nah. It's just what is. Bago sensa jo gore na man. Yar. Edimane jo. Edimano vital jo. Edimano vital yo. Vite. Hey. When you move, your aura is different. You move different. You don't even have to. You don't need. You know those old ads of like dudes wearing cologne, and when they walk in the mall and ladies turn with them. That's what semen retention is. It's your natural cologne. You just ta 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 ta, and then it just brings matata. So but what you're gonna need is discipline. What you're gonna need is discipline, and it also depends on you. Depends on the relationship that you are in. I'm just telling you here facts and telling you what from my own experiences, what I've seen, what happens to someone who practices semen retention. Your body changes. It alchemizes. There's no question about it. You have what they call points of energy called dantian. So you have a lower dantian, a middle dantian, and an upper dantian. These parts is where you store energy, and so these dantians, they begin to absorb the different energies, and they store it in these places, and then that expands your ability, your astral body, your etheric body. Everything about you just becomes revitalized. So yeah. Whether you want to use that to start a business, you can do that, but the thing about it was for an expansion of consciousness, and for you to now become more conscious of the reality that you live in. You know, obviously we live in the physical. You know, I'm gonna do semen retention to start a business. You know, people always want to do something physical. That's fine, but I'm just telling you the godly side of it. Hey, this was for the expansion of that crystalline seed. So yeah, family, that's just a video, a quick one on semen retention. Yeah, so Yeah, I don't want to get too much into details about it because it's a subject that you could go deep into it. Because as I said, there's techniques, there's methods that the couple can practice. Because remember, women have a whole different type of thing that they have going on there also as well. You know, the liquids that flow, but this is not about that. It's not about that right now. I think to even talk about that, I must invite a sister to the channel and have her as a guest, where you can get into the details of these chemicals, these juices, these healing liquids. So yeah, family, peace, love and light to you all. Yeah, this has been Semen Retention. Much love.